This video is going to walk you through how to complete the first section of your Common Unit Assessment Data Analysis form. Before we get started, please make sure you fill in the teacher name, the grade and subject, and the assessment unit number and/or unit title. We're going to first start by finding our total number of students, and we're going to do this by going to Eduforia Where and pulling up the Common Unit Assessment or CUA Data Analysis view. I've already got this view pulled up. If you don't know how to do this, make sure you check the Teacher Assessment Resources webpage for a guide and video on how to do that. Looking at where it says total students, I'm going to look where it says all students, and there's my number. Now your view won't have all students, yours will say your name. It's the same row. Looking at it, we have 220. So on my form, I'm typing in 220. Next thing we're going to look for is our satisfactory percentage. Remember here, our Quinlan ISD goal is 50%. We're saying that 50% of all students will attain meets level or higher when it comes to state testing. Looking at satisfactory level, we're going to look first at percentage. Okay, so we're going to find the column that says satisfactory. We're still under all students, and we're looking at the percentage at 63.64. I'm going to round that up to 64%, and I'm going to plug that in. Now, if you didn't realize, there is not a number here that 64% represents. We're actually going to have to do a little math and figure it out. Two ways we can do this, and we've got it written down here for you. You can find this number by multiplying the total number of students by the percent satisfactory. So 220 times 64%. Or you can multiply 220 by 0.64, and that will give us 140.8. We're going to round that up to 141 because we can't have an 1/8 of a student. Once we've got that number, we're going to move on to our economically disadvantaged student percentage. And we're going to find that in the same manner that we found our all students. Okay, we're going to find economically disadvantaged on our list, and we're going to go all the way over to where it says satisfactory. That's 60.47. So I'm recording it as 60%. Okay, and again, we've got to find the number of students that represents. A little bit different on how we calculate. Instead of multiplying by total students like we did under the percent satisfactory, we're going to be multiplying by the total number of economically disadvantaged students, so not by 220. To find this, we go under total students, we look back at economically disadvantaged, and we find 129. So there's 129 economically disadvantaged students that took this test. We're going to multiply 129 by 60%. And we get 77.4, which rounds down to 77 students. Okay. Following the same process for our ethnicities, looking at Hispanic first, the percentage, finding Hispanic, 68.97. We're going to round that up to 69%. And we're going to calculate the number of students that represents, which is 58 times 0.69, which gives us 40 students. And I'm going to record that. And last is my white percentage group. So looking at that, there's 60.93. Round that up to 61. And to calculate the number of students that represents, I'm going back and finding my total number of white students, which is 151, and multiplying that by 61%, which equals 92. Now, the LEP, CTE, and special ed percentages, those are all part of our PBMAS accountability, which is a portion of our accountability that we're needing to track. So we're asking you to record the percentage of those students meeting satisfactory level. So looking at our LEP, following the same process, 46%. I'm recording 46%. Remember, our goal is 50%. So as we're doing each one of these percentages, we're thinking, did this subgroup meet the goal? Did all students meet the goal? Did EcoDis meet the goal? Did Hispanic meet the goal? Did white meet the goal? Did LEP, did CTE, did SPED meet the goal? Let's keep going. So CTE is going to show up as a coherent sequence, or it may say elective. Okay, we're at 65.33. Some record 65%. And last is special ed, and that is 22.73%. So we're going to round that up to 23%. So looking at the CUA satisfactory level, we see that our LEP students and our special ed students did not meet the goal of 50% of all students will attain MEETS level or higher. Moving on to our master's section, our QISD goal here is 25%. We want 25% of our students to be master. Looking back to our CUA data analysis view in Eduphoria Aware, we are now, instead of looking at satisfactory, we're looking at master's grade level. And we're asking you to look at all students. So 55% of this class met master's grade level on this test. So I'm going to enter in 55%. And because we're looking back at all students again, I'm going to be multiplying by my total number of students. I don't have to go back to my Aware screen to find that number because I've already recorded it. It's 220. So I'm going to multiply 220 by 0.55 or 55%. And that gives me 121. 121 of our students met the master's goal.